everybody, welcome to another episode of our weekly MMA talk show called Chokes and Eye Pokes, where we discuss all things MMA and combat sports related. This is going to be our final episode for the year, so we hope you guys enjoy this. It also coincides with the final UFC pay-per-view of the year, so we're looking forward to reviewing that and hearing your thoughts on the pay-per-view. I'm your host as always, Vern. I'm joined by my co-host, Jack. Jack, how's it going, man?
Not as good now that I know it's the last podcast for the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is, dude.
heartbreaking.
We got to go on holiday, man.
Yeah, but we got to go hard then. We got to go hard this one.
Yeah, let's make it a 3-4 hour one, just
Yes.
because everyone's begging for it, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, no. So I think we should get straight into it as always. We're gonna just quickly review the UFC Fight Night, Song versus Gutierrez. The first fight that we previewed actually never happened. Well, actually it did happen. It just got moved to the undercard, the prelims.
We don't watch undercard.
We don't do prelims.
Yeah.
We watch prelims,
Yeah, we
but
do.
we don't review. I mean,
Yeah,
So Kevin Josette defeated Keenan Song by unanimous decision. That one's not going to count for this week. Solid performance by Kevin, and grounds out the win.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Anything on that?
He is actually such an impressive talent. I mean, so that's his second fight, right? And he won his debut of the sub. I don't know. He's looking good. That was a good fight. It would be nice to see him stay on the main card next one.
Yeah, it was quite a good result. It was 30-27 across the board, unanimous decision. I would like to see him get up the card. You know, there were a few other welterweight bouts. Well, there are also some welterweight belts belts.
Yeah.
See, it's end of the year. Some welterweight bouts coming up at UFC 296. So it'd be nice to see him sort of thrown in the mix with the ranked opponents, maybe. If he's ready for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And poor Song, I don't know. Again, like last week I said, after that Max Griffin KO, like that guy's never been the same. I don't know where he goes, but yeah, shame. Still a really good, really entertaining fight at least.
So that one doesn't count, but we do have the first fight on the main card, which was the second fight last week. That is Andre Muniz beat Park Jong-young by split decision, 29-28, 28-29, 29-28. So 229-28 for Andre Muniz. So we both got that one right, firstly. So it's 1-1. Nice. What did you make of that fight?
It was very entertaining. It was like a little bit boring though, as well. But yeah, I would have scored it to Muniz. I do think he got the better of Park in the grappling exchanges at least. So I'd give it to Muniz, but I wasn't that entertained watching that fight.
Muniz did more, I think. It wasn't necessarily not entertaining because it was more of a grappling. It was like a grappling match kind of.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them maybe run it back because it was close. Yeah. I don't know that they have anyone else to fight really. I mean, they're sort of floundering around that 15 to 20, maybe 25 spot. So
yeah,
I think it would be nice for them maybe as well to get, especially for Muniz, to maybe get a definitive result by finishing him, which would be tough. So maybe they could run it back. I think it's a fair result. It could have. I don't think it could have gone either way. I think it went to Muniz. Muniz did more, and he had more control and more control time.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, he didn't completely dominate. So a split decision is fair. Yeah. Definitely fair.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah.
So that one we both got right. The next one, late change. Tim Elliott came in to beat Sumerji. Sumerji. That was round one. Arm triangle choke. Very, very quick. I didn't. I mean, we saw it, but it doesn't really count towards the prediction. So, very impressive by Tim Elliott on short notice coming in and winning that.
There's been a couple that last few weeks where people come in last minute and actually do so well. Like I'm thinking of
Jalen Turner last week.
Yeah, Jalen Turner, and the week before there was I'm forgetting that Russian fighter. I don't know how they're doing it, but yeah, very impressive. Very impressive.
Stay ready. They don't have to get ready. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, impressive result doesn't count for this week, unfortunately. Then we have the lightweight bout. Nasrat Haqparasat beat Jamie Mulaki TKO by round 1 punches. We both got that one right as well. So it's 2-2.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive
Yeah.
by Nasrat. I
Yeah, for
mean,
sure.
we said Malarkey is going to be super, super tough, which he was.
Yeah.
He tried to hang on, but it was just too much for him.
Yeah.
Nasrat doing solid damage to him and putting him away inside the first round, which I didn't expect.
Yeah, it's now 3-fight win streak. He's really good actually, and yeah, Jamie's not he's not a walkover
Not a
by any means.
pushover.
Yeah, he is a bit of a gateway for that division, I think. Well, gatekeeper. I think so. Like,
Damn, bro, you're gassing Jamie up a lot
I
there.
know.
Gatekeeper to the top 15 or what?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
It's
Like
clarified the
he's
statement.
no, I mean
Because
not
that top 6 is all killers, dude.
yes, no. That's what I mean. It's like he marks like a level that you break up or break through.
He's the first boss, and then you're gonna go to the second boss to get to
Yes.
top 10, and then the third
Yes.
boss top 5, and then final boss Dustin Poirier. It seems like.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, good performance.
Mm.
Yeah, always entertaining with him as well.
Mm.
Even that Prado fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we both got that one right. So it's 2-2.
Yeah.
The next fight we also got right. Yeah, we might have even picked the method exactly. Yeah, round 3.
Yeah.
Khalil Roundtree Jr. put away Anthony Smith in round 3. TKO, walk off essentially. Not a walk off, but you know, I like when I watched that.
Goddamn.
It was weird though, because I thought like, okay, he stumbled.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Anthony Smith was that hurt after those shots. Because when Khalil, at first I was like, dude, you got a swarm. And then he waited, and then the referee stopped it, luckily. It wasn't the referee in the Jalen Turner Bobby Green fight from last week.
Yeah.
Really, really impressive. It was close-ish. I mean, I've always felt like Khalil was doing more damage and doing better.
Yeah.
But I always had in the back of my mind that Anthony Smith would probably get better as it goes on. And I thought, you know, there's an opening for Anthony Smith to maybe come back in this fight. But then he got hit with that left, and it was just stumbled back, fell down, and was out. I mean, it took him a while to not out cold, but he was hurt, really, really hurt.
And I think that pacing, I was very impressed with Khalil as well, because like what we said, where he's known to be like super output in the first first 2 rounds. It was really nice to see him do that pace and then still have the energy to knock him out in the third. A lot more intelligent fighting from his side. Yeah.
No, 100%. So Khalil actually got a performance of the night for that, along with, which I didn't mention, Nasrat actually also got a performance of the night bonus for that.
Nice.
That was Anton Elliott actually. Nice. And then there was one more from the prelims, which was Yun Sung Park also got one. So 4 performance of the night bonuses. No fight of the night, strangely enough. No fight of the night. Technically, you could maybe give it to Muniz, that, you know, for the Muniz fight, just because it was so close. But I guess you need more than just a close fight for it to be a fight of the night. But yeah, Khalil ended up calling out Alex Pereira now as well after this fight. It makes sense. I mean, you've got Yuri and Rakic that all kind of look like they tied up. You got Ankalaev and Walker Johnny tied up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fights that are tied up. So it makes sense to want to go straight for the title.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Especially with Alex being so active, I think he can get another fight before. I'm forgetting what the ex-champion's name is.
Yuri.
No. The
Oh yeah.
Jamal.
Yeah. Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
Man, this is like a proper year-end episode. Yeah. Like my mind's escaping me. But basically what Khalil said, and again we'll pull up the quote for you, he said, "The only thing that I want to do is fight Alex Pereira. Dana, Hunter, if you guys pay attention to what the fans are saying, I think that's special. That's something that they want to see sooner rather than later, possibly." Yeah. He said that in his Octagon interview.
Yeah. I agree.
Look, I think Alex Pereira would absolutely wreck Khalil.
Yeah.
I mean, as impressive as his performance was, like, it's
the range would be such an issue.
Range, timing, speed. Yeah. I mean, Khalil was a little bit labored. Okay, maybe he was like a little bit reserved, but Alex would. I mean, if they strike, which they likely will, it's over. But it's smart to call for that. I mean, what chance does he have of fighting for a title? Because if you look at that top 6, it's very, very tough fights for him all the way around.
Yeah.
So, and then the possibility of fighting UFC 300. We said last week Pereira possibly headlines UFC 300 because they've got no heavyweights, no Conor.
Yeah.
Smart call out. I just don't know that he will actually get it done, but
I'm kind of hoping. Because I mean,
for the fight, or that he gets it done.
Oh no, for the fight. I don't think he can get it done. But
Mm.
otherwise, I mean, if they don't book Izzy, Alex 4, 3?
It'll be 3, yeah.
Oh,
It'll be
3.
like 7 in all. No,
Yeah.
it'll be 5 in all, 3 in
Yeah.
kickboxing, 2 in UFC.
Mm. 3 in UFC.
Sorry, 2 in kickboxing, 2 in UFC, because it's 3
Okay.
to 1 for Alex.
Yes.
So yeah. So okay. And then the main event, this is the deciding result this week. Song Yadong beat Chris Gutierrez via unanimous decision quite convincingly, 50-44, 50-45, 50-45.
Yeah.
What do you make of that performance?
No, he just outclassed him, honestly. Yeah, really. I think that he clearly, like, he knew that he could do what he needed to do. And he didn't really have to take any risks. But yeah, like, just very smart plays from him.
Very dominant fashion.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was number 7 beating 15. I don't know if they've updated the rankings yet or not, but that's, I mean, to go for now for that division, it's
Stacked.
It's stacked.
Yeah.
It's starting to look pretty stacked. So it'll be interesting what happens with him now, because you've got to obviously give him someone in the top 5.
Yeah.
There are other matchups at bantamweight that have been confirmed this week,
Yeah.
which we'll get to. And then you've also got obviously O'Malley and Cheeto.
I would actually really like to see him versus Corey again. I think, but I mean, he's pretty much booked with.
Corey's booked.
Yeah.
What about Figueiredo?
Oh, that would be a nice one. That would be a really good one, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Big, but Figueiredo, I think, is also calling for. He was calling for Corey, wasn't he? Figueiredo was also calling for a fight. So, he actually was calling for title as well. But that'd be a good fight, actually, to put him up against Figueiredo. I think that's a good fight.
That's a good fight.
Yeah. So that means this week I get that one right. So I've got the 4 fights out of the 5 in the main card that we actually ended up predicting. I've got them all right.
Nice.
That was unfortunately the deciding one for you, Jack.
Oh.
So that means I am the champion again for this week.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So as we mentioned, there's Henry Cejudo versus Merab. That's confirmed now in Anaheim, UFC 298, February the 17th. I like that fight.
Same. I'm really excited. I wonder if the next person. Well, what happens to the winner though?
Title, surely.
But I think Corey, if he beats Magomedov, he should definitely fight for the title. I'm actually like a little bit I don't know. To me, it makes sense that he would still fight for the title now as opposed to Cheeto.
Yes, but O'Malley's kind of called for that one. O'Malley has a following. He sells tickets. He talks well. That's why I think like Merab will talk. Cejudo will talk.
Yeah.
Corey, I don't think will talk that much. Corey's kind of reserved and chilled. So I don't think he'll talk, and they're all in the business of selling those tickets at the moment. So, but I do agree. I mean, Corey's been there. He's been there. He's been around for a long time, but he didn't have a good performance the last time. Okay, he was injured. Now, if he has a good performance against Magomedov, is that as good a case as maybe Merab or Cejudo having a good performance against each other and winning, whichever one wins? Merab also really could have fought for a title because of his long streak.
Yeah,
just
for
if
sure.
Aljo wasn't there.
Yeah, if Merab wins, actually, that's a very good point.
But if Cejudo wins, then it's exactly the same story. So
yeah,
and then they're not going to have an elimination. Because then what does O'Malley do?
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting one. I don't know. Who you got in that fight, Merab and Cejudo?
I have Merab. I wasn't that impressed with Cejudo versus Aljo. Like, he definitely had his moments, but I think that the long layoff, I don't know. I don't think I think Merab's really, really good and underrated, and I think Henry's actually overrated.
I mean, fair enough. Based off his last performance, Henry didn't look as good. That was all ring rust, I think. I think the time off, you can't deny that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to call, because if he performs like that, then obviously he loses. But prime Henry, without the ring rust, I think beats Merab. But again, I also do agree with you that Merab is the more informed fighter. He has been more active, and he's got momentum behind him. So I would also lean towards Merab at this time. Maybe Henry's gone and found his form again. But if he loses that fight, he's out. I mean, he should stop fighting.
Yeah, stay retired. Yeah, for sure.
There's no, I mean, you can't rely on your name then after that. So
yeah.
Speaking of being out, did you See Joe Rogan's comments on Conor?
I did. It makes sense. I like we've said it a couple times now, but I don't know what it's kind of like chase. It feels like chasing the dragon at this point. He's yeah. Do you want to read the comment?
I'm reading, sorry, I'm getting the comment here. He said, and he said this before, and we've said this before as well, but you need to be active at the highest levels of world-class mixed martial arts competition. I just don't see how you can take 2 years off, multiple surgeries, get on juice, get off juice, and then jump in there again against the best in the world. It's, I mean, it's true. It
Yeah.
happened against Dustin,
Yeah.
and then he's gone and taken more time off again.
Yeah.
And he's been very vocal about it, but then he did Roadhouse, and like Joe Rogan alleges he went on the juice.
Yeah.
Probably,
Probably.
allegedly.
Yeah.
It's true. You can't take that time off. It's ring rust is real. I mean, even Yuri looked against Alex looked like a shadow. Not okay, no, that's unfair.
Yeah.
He didn't look as good as he used to, and he took what, a year or so off.
Yeah.
The only person that I think has come back, and even by their standards, it wouldn't have.
GSP.
Well, GSP, but also John Jones.
Yeah.
Because even GSP had got sliced up a little bit by Mike Bisping. Okay, it was a weight class up.
Yeah.
But John Jones also has come back in at light heavyweight previously, and then not been happy with his performance, but still went on and won. So did GSP.
Yeah.
But they're like, let's be honest, Conor McGregor's not in that level of
for sure.
of fighter. So yeah, what do you think? You think he's gonna come back?
I think he's gonna come back. I think he's not gonna be smart about it. I think just taking the Chandler fight isn't smart. I think Chandler's gonna demolish him if I'm being real. Actually, well, again, it really comes down to how Chandler approaches that fight. I think he could win very easily if he wanted to. If he tries to stay standing with Conor will win.
Yeah, but also if it gets out of the first round, then I think it goes more towards Chandler, in favor of Chandler. So that's gonna be. I mean, we're gonna watch it regardless. I mean, a Conor press conference and antics and stuff. It's still a big thing when he fights.
It's really starting to heat up, though. Have you seen Chandler's been like quite picking him apart on Twitter?
I've got the quote. So basically, okay. So Chandler said, 12-month plan: KO Conor and KO Islam. I've calibrated to right where I need to be. Settle in. See you soon, boys. So Chandler's still fixated on that, and then using that as a stepping stone to fight Conor. Conor, in the most random, I don't even know what to call it, like the most random thing I've seen in a long time, had a face-off with Piotr Jan.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
so weird.
It was also so odd because they were sitting across from him and Islam were sitting across from each other watching this like boxing event.
Yeah.
And apparently he wanted to face off with Islam, and then I think Islam, knowing and being smart that what Conor will do, will start a fight and probably die, like literally, if the crowd turns on him. Was like, nah, go for you, like rather let him face off with Piotr Jan. It will be a lot more interesting, a lot more like a lot better. So odd.
Yeah. Very bizarre. Yeah.
He's doing face-offs with Mike Perry, with Piotr Jan, with like...
Yeah.
Chandler actually commented and he's like, I'm looking for a 135 or preferably a 125 to face-off with on camera at an obscure event. Any takers? I need some relevancy.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. He's just trying to stay relevant. Yeah.
He looked tired when he walked into that place. Like either he looked tired or was on the nose candy a little bit, and tired either way.
I think if he does actually want to make another run or something, I think that he should like go for a top 15 guy, but like kind of pretty low down, like a Malarkey, He won't, but I think that would be smarter.
I think he needs to. I don't mind him going for a Chandler, but the problem is like he needs to, in my opinion, needs to get off of social media, needs to cut off say to all his business partners of the things and the appearances he's going to make, any business interests, and say, listen, for the next 3 months, I'm unavailable. So-and-so is taking over.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus, or 6 months, whatever, I'm going to focus just on training.
Yeah.
Because all these out of ring antics take away from his core focus of wanting to fight. And if you've got all these things, I mean, you've got all these distractions, you're going to fight killers who are at the best of, like having the best camp.
More hungry than you,
And having the best camp and fighting somebody like that is dangerous as it is. And now you're going to go and do all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
I think you need to take some time and just focus on that. But he may never come back. He may be smart and not come back.
Yeah. Honestly. Because it's also like that, I remember when he lost to Khabib, it was that case of like I remember hearing it's you when you wake up in silk sheets, you don't want to go to gym,
It's tough to get up at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping in a silk sheet.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's very true. So we'll see. We'll see. I know Chandler's holding out for it, but we're gonna have to see what
Yeah.
comes of that. So we spoke about Yuri a little bit earlier and Rakic. I think let's get into it now because they'd been calling each other out on Twitter and it seemingly was going somewhere, but now it seems to not be going somewhere.
Yeah.
And the latest quote that Rakic said to Yuri was, "You said February or March. I accepted and offered you February the 17th. Now you've gone quiet. Where's your samurai code now? Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract." That's a fun fight.
Yeah.
The fight with Rakic. I think it's a perfect fight actually for Yuri because it's a tough enough fight, like where he has to obviously focus and train hard and all of that. But I think it's such a winnable fight for him, where he can win in a very good fashion. Like Rakic is no joke,
Yeah.
but it's in a very good that he can win in such a fashion that people go, okay, yeah, he's back. Like that ring rust is gone. Book him for a title fight next.
Yeah. I completely agree. And also, if they book it rather sooner than later, I think that's probably better for that ring rust, or like to just get better. Yeah, for sure.
Well, look, he lost by TKO, but it wasn't like a crazy. I mean, he was probably out, but it wasn't like a devastating TKO.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you, he's probably already still training, so it wouldn't be too much of a quick turnaround for him. I mean, Feb's 3 months away.
Yeah, and before that, he was super active. Yeah.
So I like that fight. I think the light heavyweights are starting to shape up quite nice. If Jamal Hill can get over his DUI issue. You've got Alex Pereira, you've got Rakic, you've got still Yuri.
Yeah.
He's not he doesn't
Khalil?
feature. Khalil, maybe now, yeah, after that win. Why not? You have to give it something. Ankalaev, Johnny Walker, winner.
Yeah.
It's a nice division, and I think they need to take advantage because these guys, some of them are on the older side.
Yeah.
So they need to take advantage of these guys while they're still around and just book as many of these fights as they can.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about light heavyweight and heavyweight that it almost you can have older champions or older fighters, and I don't know what it is. It's like old man strength. But like Glover, he was like what 42 when he was the champion.
Yeah, fair enough. I see Glover. Speaking of Glover, did you see he said Alex Pereira could challenge for the heavyweight title?
Hectic. You mentioned what?
Because he walks around. He walks around apparently like 230. He just needs to eat up to get to like the 240s.
Yeah.
And he could fight at 240.
Yeah.
John Jones was 240, but John Jones is also like 8'5" and like the longest reach in the whole UFC. So
I think that's imagine a cruiserweight like a 235, because it would be great to see like an Alex Pereira fight at 235 or something, and then have like Stipe Miocic. He's probably
Stipe, John Jones, all these guys, and then maybe up the heavyweight limit. Although you don't have like solidly massive heavyweights like Brock Lesnar anymore.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if you had like a heavyweight like 280. And then you had somewhere between 205, like a cruiserweight, 205, somewhere between 205 and 280.
Yeah.
So like like you say, 235, 245, something like that.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's only like Francis. He was what, like he had to cut.
He cut, I think.
Yeah. To get
Pavlovich cut.
and
Derek Lewis cuts.
And that actually translates so much. I mean, especially if you have a 240 fighter, like if Alex tried to fight them, it's like then that does become quite a big factor, I think.
Yeah, like I remember back in the days, like when it was Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir cut a lot of weight and he was weighing like 240, like that he would have been a scary like cruiserweight champion. And even Stipe at his prime was winning. DC would have been a good one. John Jones, like before he made mind you, I still think John Jones would have probably fought better without the bulk. He smoked gone, but he would have looked better and probably been less sluggish if he had just not bulked and been his normal walking around 240 weight or 235, whatever it was.
Yeah.
A cruiserweight division would actually be really good. It would give people the opportunity to go for 3 titles like Alex now.
Yeah. Let's cut the 125 division out and then
yeah. And I think it's more realistic though than the 160 division, 165 division that people were calling for. Something between lightweight and welterweight, because
they're quite close.
It's such a big gap from 205 to 265. It is a huge gap.
Yeah.
It would obviously dilute 205, and it would dilute 265. But then you just need to start bringing back heavier people, man. Like bring back the. Now, who knows? Without USADA, maybe they'll be able to get these 300-pound people in.
Yeah.
Maybe without USADA, they're going to be able to bring Brock Lesnar back for UFC 300.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he can compete. Surely Brock would be a bit slow now.
Dude, Brock Lesnar's got one style, and that's take you down, and he's so big and strong.
Yeah.
If you can't stuff a takedown, you are screwed. Speaking of Brock Lesnar, did you see his daughter broke a state indoor shot put record? Have you not seen what his daughter looks like?
You sent me the photo, and I was actually, I thought that was just like
Brock
someone
Lesnar with a wig.
Yeah, I thought that someone like did an edit.
Yeah,
hectic.
That's his daughter. Is like she broke a record for indoor shot put, state record. And I can't remember. I saw something about Frank Mir's daughter also doing something like in athletics recently. So they want to book a Lesnar versus Mir 3 now.
Yeah.
Have the daughters fight each other.
Yeah.
But dude, I also saw like there's literally no DNA test required for that for Brock Lesnar's daughter.
Yeah, you are the father.
You are definitely the father.
Yes.
Yeah. Just shows you, good genes. You can't get around that in anything.
And that competitive, I'm sure that he must have been like the dad to be screaming on the sidelines of the pitch. Yeah.
Well, look, on his Pat McAfee interview, it's like the most candid he's been as well. He was like, "No, my kids, just like me, they grow up. We put them, wake up early. It's like I put those little bastards to work, let them earn their keep and stuff." So, I mean, they've got that same work ethic that he had instilled in him, and they've got the genes, and he can obviously guide them in the right way. So, I mean, if you want to be an athlete, like. Get the genes from your parents that were athletes too, and why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
So before we get to any UFC 296 predictions or anything like that, one of the fighters, Mr. CUCK himself.
Sorry.
Mr. Cuck himself.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, there we go.
Mr. Ian Garry is apparently he's very scared to enter the US.
Shame.
Yeah, shame.
Yeah,
Man.
I can imagine.
He said, "I'm a little bit cautious about going to America for the safety of my family, with all the that's been going on online, to protect my wife, to protect my child, to protect myself." I mean, okay, you're the man of the house. I hope you're the man of the house.
You're one of them.
Yeah. That was awesome. Dude. That was so good.
Thank you.
Oh man, well done, man. I don't know. I need to recover from that. I was not expecting that. So you're one of the men of the house, apparently. You need to protect your family. So I can understand that, right? Leave your wife at home, leave your kids at home. I know your wife's your manager and everything else that she is. But dude, how can you claim to be this hardcore, like trash talking? You're supposed to be the next Conor McGregor. You're this undefeated MMA fighter that's hardcore to the max, and you're threatening to sue Sean Strickland, and then you're saying you're cautious to enter for fear. Like, what threats were you getting online that you feel, okay, the security of the UFC is not going to be able to help you?
Yeah. No, for sure. I don't know what the point of that is.
It's kind of virtue signal, I think.
Yeah. Oh, like take the high ground.
Well, I think he's trying to be like, well, you guys have brought me to this point that I'm so scared for everything, hoping people will be like, oh, Ian Garry, man. Yeah. Oh, really now? Like,
yeah.
Oh.
But it's also weird because I like so much of the sentiment. It feels like people, at least what people are trying to say is like they feel bad for him, or they're
trying to help him.
Yeah. So it's like
that's what Sean Strickland wanted to do. He wanted to help him.
Yeah.
And now he's threatening to sue him. I also saw something, but I didn't read into it too much, about Ian Garry wanting to change his nationality.
Oh, to Brazilian. I saw this.
And then already Brazilians were like, we're not going to claim it. We already don't claim him as one of our own. That dude just can't catch a break, man.
Shame.
Honestly, he should have just come out and been like, listen, my wife's 40. So what? She doesn't look 40. Who gives a shit about her past? I don't care. Whatever. We have a good relationship. Like, cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think people would have probably been like, okay, fair enough. Oh, the book was written in a satirical manner, even if it might not have been. But I think he just made everybody's point stronger.
Yeah.
With the whole cuck thing.
Yeah, got quite defensive. Yeah, for sure.
And the way he tried to handle it was just...
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, if you're put in that position, I don't know how people would want to handle it. Maybe he threatened to sue someone in private, and then it just got leaked, and now it's like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially with like his personality. So, yeah, I don't know how it would have come off as him being sort of like calm-headed
Mm,
or level-headed.
mm.
Yeah.
Not the next Conor McGregor
Yeah.
confirmed anyway. So,
Yeah.
but we'll have a bit more to say about Mr. Garry in a little bit once we
Yeah.
get to the UFC 296 predictions.
That press conference though, is it gonna is it gonna happen?
The press conference,
Yeah.
100%, bro. Are you supposed to build? You're supposed to build to the pay per view.
But usually, I mean, like if there's like such a big, I know like Dana doesn't like the what goes on when it's too much drama. So then sometimes where he has it like person to person, he doesn't have the full panel.
I don't know if he doesn't like the drama of the talking. I think talking's fine. I think he doesn't like the more of the, like the pushing,
Yeah.
throwing cans and water bottles and.
But I think that there's potential for that though. Like if Colby says some stuff.
I think Ian Garry might fling his handbag at Colby.
He's okay.
His
Yeah.
purse.
Yes.
He might. He might throw his high heels at him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah. Maybe.
let's see.
Yeah.
But I saw a thing. We'll give the credits to whoever did this. Just close your eyes. So I want you to do this, Jack. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Just imagine. So it says these hype trains. There's a picture of Paddy the Baddie
Mm-hmm.
and Ian Garry.
Okay, I can
It says
see that.
close your eyes and
Yeah.
imagine both of these hype trains get derailed on the same night.
Yo, honestly, it might happen.
There's a high likelihood of it.
Yeah. Luke's been looking really good.
Mm.
Yeah. Especially that win over RDA. That was really good.
Could you imagine it just gets derailed?
You're on the same night, and please,
Oh,
if there is a Lord in the sky, Paddy will not win. If there is a Lord, like, yeah,
I know which way you're picking in the fight.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know. I'm undecided still, so we'll get to that.
Okay,
But yeah. Just before we get to those predictions, did you see the PFL CEO talk about Ngannou Wilder and Jake Paul?
Yes.
He said we're focused on putting it all together. That's supposed to be in 2024.
Is it an MMA fight for Jake Paul?
Yeah, so both are MMA fights. So I actually
Oh.
had it wrong a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't a boxing match.
Oh.
It's actually an MMA fight for Wilder and Ngannou.
Why would he do that?
Maybe I mean, listen, credit to people. Listen, okay, there's two things. So there's being smart and there's being brave.
Yeah.
And on the brave front, I mean, all respect to Wilder.
Yeah.
But 2 leg kicks from Francis Ngannou on those legs and they're going to break.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to punch him. He can just leg kick him.
Yeah, that's not going to be. I mean, so I think if it's 100% Francis, that fight should not last longer than 40 seconds.
I think a 50% Francis even.
Yeah, but he's gonna try make it like entertaining. So he's gonna try just essentially box, I'm sure. Because if he takes him down as well, that's gonna be quick.
It's tricky because if you're Francis Ngannou, do you want it to be? Are you looking at it from the aspect of like, okay, I want to get more MMA fights against boxers? Because if you're looking at it from that aspect, then you try and make it more entertaining and you try and make it look like Wilder maybe has a chance, because then other boxers go, well, I have a chance because Wilder is easy to take down because his legs are so skinny, my legs are not so skinny.
Yeah.
Or you're looking at it just from the aspect of like, well, I'm going to get paid all the same whether it's entertaining or not. Let me just go and put a statement on this. Because then, even then, if you do it that way and you go knock out Wilder or you submit him or you do whatever in the first round, you can still get boxing fights or boxing matches against some of the top people. I mean, Eddie Hearn's not going to stop trying to get a boxing bout with Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
There's no way. That's like Eddie Hearn's cash cow.
Yeah.
And Saudi's there. It's Riyadh season. They're trying to push this whole Riyadh 2030, Saudi 2030 thing.
Yeah.
So it's a high likelihood. If you're Wilder, if you're Ngannou, just don't take the risk of Wilder, because if Wilder clips you with those small gloves, I don't care who you are, he can knock you out in spectacular fashion with big 12-ounce gloves. Now imagine with 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, Francis can just pull guard,
Yeah, but the problem is if you engage with him, even if you're shielding up, you can go through gaps. And Wilder is crazy with his punching.
Yeah.
So he should
Bronze bomber.
He should just kick and then just get it to a takedown. But I think the crowd will boo. I don't know. I mean, they must be offering them stupid money.
Yeah.
And again, PFL. If someone from PFL can reach out and tell us how your finances work, please. I would love to know. I will. We will not say anything.
Yeah.
Because I read also now. I don't know how true it is. One championship's a few events away from closing down. Apparently, some people say they allege. Because it's also just funding and too many parts. I don't even know if one pays that well. That's the odd thing about it as well. I don't know if they pay that well, and they're supposed to be allegedly by this. I forget what the source was, but that they could be a few events from closing down.
Yeah, no, PFL doesn't make any sense. I can't think of any source of revenue stream other than private equity or public equity.
Well, they're on TV, so they've signed a deal with ESPN, I think. So they got a TV deal, and that's what's carrying, for the most part, carrying AEW against WWE.
Yeah,
there's a TV deal, and they're on network TV. But there, it's all about ratings.
Yeah,
and if people aren't watching these fights, they're not going to be there much longer. I don't know, guys. But anyway, and now Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, I think. It depends. I think Jake Paul's smart enough to know what he has to do. I don't think Jake Paul's been. I think he's been training grappling the last while.
Yeah, just stuff the takedown. I think if he stuffs the takedown and just keeps on the feet, I have Jake. Yeah.
I've also got Jake Paul winning that. He's bigger. He's stronger.
Yeah.
Nate is susceptible to getting hit.
Yeah.
And if it essentially becomes a glorified boxing match, then Nate Diaz will probably. I mean, there's clinches there, so when you do clinch and you get guillotines and stuff like they did in their boxing bout, then it's trouble. And Nate went and submitted Tony Ferguson the last fight. He didn't necessarily have to keep it standing, even though I think he dropped Tony for that one. So if he can stuff the takedown and he can last, we don't know if there's going to be modified rules, if they're maybe going to say, okay, only 2 minutes on the ground.
I think they would have to. I think that they would have to.
Because it is a super fight division. So the thing is, though, you can train and train and train every day for 3 years, which Jake Paul probably hasn't been doing.
Yeah.
If it goes to the ground against a high-level black belt like Nate Diaz, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. You can be stronger, and he's not that much bigger. It makes a big difference in the stand-up, but on the ground, it's not going to make that much difference. If Nate Diaz is on top of him, or even at the bottom, he will submit him. He will. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
He can train with Craig Jones. He can train with whoever. He will get submitted.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Yeah.
So anyway, this is a way. Look, I said when PFL signed Jake Paul, it was a smart move. Because say what you want about Jake Paul, he gets people interested and he gets people to watch. Subsequently, his pay-per-views haven't done that well, but it is a big name, and I think if he can go into MMA, he's going to fight older people, past it possibly.
Yeah.
But it should garner attention.
Yeah, and I do think he doesn't really have that much to lose, because if he does lose, it's
just like the Disney kid.
Yeah, and it's an MMA fight. He doesn't train MMA. It's a black belt, But if he wins, then I think that's yeah.
And plus, we were saying they should give Logan Paul a shot in the UFC. So why not have this?
Yeah.
I do think though that it's so funny because Dana White always talks badly about Jake Paul and the MMA thing, but then we always go back to the CM Punk thing.
Yeah.
I will almost guarantee that they're going to give Logan Paul an MMA fight in the UFC.
I mean, he's the prime spot. He's like now the official drink sponsor, and he's also using WWE, and he does really well there actually. So
he's got himself a very good deal with WWE. He's working hard there.
Yeah.
They're the parent company now. They own both companies.
Yeah.
So interesting. So I think that's time now for us to get into our preview of the final pay-per-view card of the year, which is UFC 296.
Yo.
Stacked card. So the first fight is at welterweight. We spoke about Mr. Ian Machado Garry.
Yeah.
So Vicente Luque taking on Ian Machado Garry at welterweight. Vicente 22-9-1. His last win was against Rafael Dos Anjos.
Yeah.
Looked pretty good there, but he had 2 losses before that against Jeff Neal and Bilal Muhammad. Ian Garry 13-0-0, 6-0 in the UFC with 3 KOs. What are your thoughts before you get to the winner? What are your thoughts on this fight? Keys to victory.
I think keys to victory for Vicente. I think it's similar to the RDA fight. Try wrestle him. He's big for the division. I think that if he can grab hold of Ian and keep him down, try score points. I think that's his key to victory. And Ian, okay, wait. What do you think Ian's key to victory is?
Okay, so Ian has been pretty much rolling through everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd make jokes about him in his personal life, but I mean, as a fighter, he's good.
He's good.
The only place he has been untested, and this is what you kind of were alluding to, is on the ground.
Yeah.
So I think, obviously, he's a very accurate striker. He's got a lot of momentum behind him, but it's going to be interesting to see if Luque can take him to the ground and work his ground game, because he is a great grappler, Luque.
Yeah.
The problem with Luque is, not the problem, but he likes to strike a lot as well. And if he strikes with Garry, he's powerful enough to knock him out.
Yeah.
But if he strikes with Garry, he's not going to win this fight.
Yeah, Gary's very precise. I think that I do agree with you. Yeah.
So, and precise, accurate, call it what you want. He does have 3 KO victories in the UFC on his way to the top, Garry. So I think those are the keys to victory for each of them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think my thoughts on Garry personally, or not personally, but what we perceive and like is his outside of the octagon is trying to sway me towards Luque.
Yeah. I think his mental state is going to play quite a big role in this matchup for sure.
Especially if he's thinking about Colby Covington, or thinking about Leon Edwards, or thinking about anybody else that maybe comes out at him. So hopefully his wife has actually got a bit of that wisdom that she had about how to land yourself a young sports athlete. And as his manager gets to calm him down, and then we get a good fight out of it, because it can be, the crowd possibly would be booing him.
Yeah.
But I think even with all that being said, I'm still going to go for Garry. I'm going to go round 2 TKO. I think he gets it done.
Same. I'm going to go first round.
First round.
You
put some away early. Okay. So we both have Ian Garry winning this one. First round TKO for Jack. Second round TKO for me. The next one. Oh, I'm torn on this one, dude.
Ooh.
Tony Ferguson versus Paddy the Fatty Pimlet.
Yeah.
Might not be a fatty anymore, but
yeah.
Paddy the Batty. Tony Ferguson, 26-9 on a 6-fight losing streak. His last one was 2019.
Yeah.
Paddy, 20-3, 4-0 in the UFC with 3 finishes. His last fight, which was about a year ago, which is actually odd. It's odd that he's fought. It took him so long to come back. Was that split decision win against Gordon, which I don't think he won.
Yes, for sure. He was injured. Maybe that's why he was recovering.
Yeah, possibly. He's on a 6-fight win streak, 4-fight win streak in the UFC. What do you think is happening in this one?
God dang. Okay, first, we said it like the last 2 Ferguson fights, but win, lose or draw, he should retire. Like
100%.
Yeah.
And then be in bare knuckle in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Inevitable. Calling out Mike Perry.
Yeah. But I do. So I've seen the training videos of Tony Ferguson with David Goggins, and I think his mental state is still like he's still going to fight. He's going to bring it. Paddy, I think he's also going to bring it. I think he has a lot to prove after that Gordon fight. It's going to be super interesting. It was actually a pretty hard one to call. I think that the betting odds being so heavily in Paddy's favor is like a little bit disrespectful. Especially it's not showing the threat that Ferguson has.
He's on a 6-fight losing streak. I think it makes sense. And then Paddy, conversely, is on a 6-fight win streak.
Yes.
So it does make sense.
But I think stylistically, and at least the competition that Ferguson's had versus the competition that Paddy's had, I think that, it's not that easy to say that Paddy's going to walk through him,
That's true. I mean, look, it's still a tough fight for Paddy. It's a no-win fight for Paddy. We've said that before. Do you think there were moments in Tony Ferguson's last fights that he was looking good and that he could have won some of those fights?
Not the not the Nate Diaz fight. I think the definitely the Chandler fight. I think before that really bad KO. I think he was doing really good actually. The first round, I had him winning.
See, the thing is, I never felt like Tony was going to win any of those fights.
Mm.
Before the fight, during the fight, I never thought he was going to win any of those fights. And
The Bobby Green, I think he was going to win that.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, Bobby Green is probably his best chance, but like
Yeah.
Bobby Green, I'm not sold on. But I've never been really sold on Bobby Green, to be honest. And I mean,
Yeah.
after Jalen turning out, it's like even less.
Yeah.
You know, not kicking somebody when they're down, but I mean, I've always been vocal about not being sold on Bobby Green.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's another one where my head is in one place, my heart's in another place, because I really, really, really want Tony Ferguson to win this fight.
Yeah.
Because this has to be his last fight.
Yeah.
I'd love for him to go out on a win and just channel some prime Tony where he's just like unleashes a stupid combo that's like knocks Paddy out. But Paddy's got a decent chin. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Paddy's jiu-jitsu is also really good.
Yeah.
I don't see a place where Tony wins this fight, unfortunately. And I think also he's been past it for some time. I think Paddy's younger. He's faster. We have to give some level of respect to Paddy for being 4-0 in the UFC.
Yeah.
Okay, whether the can't really tell you where these first three opponents went. And the Gordon fight, he should not have won. Let me say that again. But my heart wants Tony Ferguson to win so badly.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have. I don't think they should have given him another fight. But this is his last fight. I think Tony Ferguson is going to lose. I think he's going to get submitted, and I hope he taps. Because if it's an armbar or a leg lock, he's not going to tap, and I don't want him to pop anything. So I think Paddy's going to go round 2 submission. I think Paddy's going to put the pressure on him. I don't think Paddy's going to be stupid enough to want to stand with him. I think he's going to put him up against the cage, make it uncomfortable for him, try to take him down, even if he gets elbowed a couple of times.
Yeah.
If Tony Ferguson wins this, I will be so happy. I'll be shouting at 4 a.m. I would be happy if you probably picking Tony Ferguson from what I can see.
Yeah.
I would be happy to lose this if Tony Ferguson wins. So
yeah,
Tony, please win. But
yeah.
I think Paddy's going to win, unfortunately. And he has that point to prove, like you say.
Yeah, for sure. And absolutely same position. I think my head, Paddy should win this. He should. And I have Tony because I'm not going to bet against him. That's my only reason.
Listen, dude, you almost called Strickland to beat Izzy, and then you changed last minute. So don't change.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got Paddy to win by round 2 submission. How you got Tony winning?
Decision.
It's a ballsy call, dude. I would have thought first round knockout or something, you know. But okay, decision. So Jack's got Tony Ferguson. I've got Paddy to win. Then we've got entertaining fight for many reasons at welterweight. Shavkat Rakhmonov is taking on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
The people's fight.
Shavkat 17-0, 5-0 in the UFC, all finishes, of course.
Yeah.
8 knockouts, 9 submissions. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, 17-6-1. He's 3-4 since his Masvidal fight. I'll just start off with this one. I think this one is another one of those where, like, Wonderboy has had tough opponents, fair enough.
Yeah.
And he's always dangerous. And I think he's older in age, but I think fighting wise, he still has a few years left in him.
Yeah.
I think this is for sure the first test for Rakhmonov of an elite striker. Okay, so he's been tested before, but this is like a really, really elite striker. He's got to be really, really careful how he approaches this on the feet. I think on the ground, obviously, I mean, it's Rakhmonov should easily, not easily, but fairly easy take this one.
Yeah.
Rakhmonov, like, no weaknesses at all. Like, when you say no weaknesses, like literally no weaknesses, like he's like a Sarukian.
Yeah.
These are like the new or the second wave of fighters that started like with MMA, although Rakhmonov hasn't, but have like really tailored their game to just have no weaknesses.
Yeah.
For me, Rakhmonov's already top 3 in the welterweight division. So you've got Colby, you've got Leon, and you've got Rakhmonov. Those are the top 3 for me already, even though his ranking doesn't say it.
Yeah.
I think he beats a Bilal. I think, even though it's probably a tough fight, but I think this is this is the fight where people will really go, okay, wow, he handled the elite striker. It was the biggest test of his career,
Yeah.
and I think Wonderboy's got a few fights left in him, but I think he does fun fights after this.
Mm.
So yeah, obviously, sorry, I'm not giving Jack a chance to give his
No.
analysis
Go
yet,
for
but
it.
I
Go
think
for it.
I think a TKO in round 2 or a sub, but I'm leaning towards a TKO for Rakhmonov
Yeah.
to win this one, and then call out for the champion that's on the same card, fight for the title next at 170. What are you saying?
So I absolutely agree. I also think that Steven he's in there and he's so dangerous. He is that elite striker, and Rakhmonov, he's just been like, no weaknesses. He's been amazing. Yeah, I mean, I do think if he wins, it'll be really interesting, that title picture, because then Bilal, do you skip Bilal? Because I mean it. Yeah, I would actually prefer to see Rakhmonov versus Leon if Leon also wins for sure. But yeah, it would just be really interesting, that title picture.
So what are you? So you got Rakhmonov winning this, or I take it?
Yeah, third round sub.
Third round sub. Okay, so we're both going for Rakhmonov. I'm going for second round TKO, and Jack is going for a third round sub. So the next fight at flyweight, Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. Pantoja 26-5 on a 4-fight win streak.
Yeah.
Just took the title from Brandon Moreno in a split decision in his last fight.
Yeah.
Another Brandon Royval, 15-6 on a 3-fight win streak. His last loss actually to Pantoja in 2021.
Yeah.
On top of that, this is the first flyweight, or for obvious reasons, flyweight title fight that doesn't include Moreno or Figueiredo since 2019.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. They had their 4 fights, and then they had Pantoja versus Moreno.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do a rematch for Pantoja Moreno. I think Moreno needed a rest.
Yeah.
I think he can come back and fight the winner of this possibly, if depending on how this gets finished. What are you saying? You don't have to give the victory just yet, but what do you make of this fight? And
I'm not that excited for this fight, if I'm honest. I like Pantoja. But yeah, Royval, he's really good, and unfortunately, I think that division is just like a bit shallow, and it's so shallow that even he's second. Like, it's so shallow that I don't think he's that impressive. And I have. Well, okay, in saying that, yeah, I have Pantoja. He's already done it, like the first time he won, it was like a second round sub, and he was winning the whole time. So it's like, yeah, I'm not that excited about this fight.
Yeah, I've also got Pantoja. I've got round 4 submission. I think, the problem for Royval is he's got he's got to push the pace. He's got to put pressure, but he did that the last time, and then he needs to be careful.
Yes.
And he needs to be smart, because that actually was his downfall in the last fight, and that's what ended up getting him submitted. And Pantoja also, yeah, I mean, I'm like, in terms of mixed martial arts, I have appreciation for Pantoja, because I mean, he's super durable, he's got no weaknesses. I like his story as well.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you, this division is very, very shallow. And, a couple of years back, Demetrius Johnson cleared out the entire division, and they had to do an ultimate fight of champions, where they had to go and pick champions from different organizations throughout the world. The winner got to fight Demetrius Johnson. And now we're in a similar, it's not so shallow where there's one champion beating everybody, but it's shallow because, like, these guys fought each other. Okay, it's fine that they fight each other over and over, but you had Figueiredo and you had Moreno fight each other 4 times.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have Pantoja and Moreno fight each other almost for a 4th time, if we think Pantoja wins this one, which she should do. So who knows what's happening with this 125-pound division? I would like them to keep it around, because just from a South African standpoint, because there's a lot of South African fighters. We've had 2 on the podcast, which is Tumelo Manyamala and Terence Balelo.
Yeah.
I think Gift Walker's also really good. And then I think BK as well. There's a lot of in the 125-pound division. So Dana White, maybe we should start a campaign. Come to South Africa. Come and see the South African 125-pounders. I think if they can, I don't know what BK's contract situation is with one, but if you can get them to fight, maybe even Jared Brooks, like a guy like Jared Brooks, he's now the 1 champion. Okay. I think he's ducking BK.
I mean,
But
who wouldn't?
yeah, but look, he beat BK the last time, but it was like it didn't. It wasn't. It was a mistake BK made. He got on BK's back for like 4 minutes and then subbed him like at the end of the round, basically. So it wasn't like a conclusive, like, take nothing away from him. It wasn't a conclusive victory. It was a conclusive victory, but it wasn't conclusive in like, okay, so much better than BK and like he outskilled him in that. So I think the UFC should just be like, particularly if one goes under, we don't know, speculation. Just go take all those fighters, well, just BK and Jared Brooks, and come take the South Africans from the EFC.
Yeah.
And try and revive that division. I don't know what it is with these smaller divisions. It's maybe people would rather go fight in different countries than fight in the US.
Yeah.
There's always been a focus on sort of like bigger guys and that. So I don't know how I feel about this 125-pound division. I wanted to stay around for the South African sake, but I don't know. I'm not that excited about it. Even when Moreno and Pantoja fought each other, I wasn't that excited about it.
Yeah. And the Moreno
Figueiredo.
Yeah. Those were actually, like, I know there were 4, but they were really good. Like,
yeah. So yeah, okay. So we're both going. You said, what's your method of victory? Round 3.
I'm gonna say round 3 and TKO, not sub.
Okay. So we're both going for Alexander Pantoja on this one. Round 4 sub for me, and round 3 TKO for Jack.
How many Alex champions do we have?
5 or 4.
That's crazy.
There's Grasso, Pereira, Pantoja. There was one more. Volkanovski. How can we forget about it?
Yeah, of course.
So it's 4, I think. Yeah. So, okay, now we get to the main event. So I'm going to read the stats quick because, there's stats on my page and everything. I just want to read. So Leon Edwards is at welterweight champion taking on Colby Covington. Colby Covington 17-3. His only losses were to Usman. 2 losses to Usman since 2015. Leon Edwards 21-3, 11-0-1 since 2015. And this is going to be a crazy fight.
Yeah.
Edwards pretty much handled Kamaru Usman well in that rematch. I think Kamaru Usman was probably winning the first fight until the head kick.
Yes.
He had some issues in both those fights with wrestling, but he's even if you take him down, he gets up quite quickly.
Yeah.
And Colby, obviously, with his mad pace, that's his strongest tool. His pace, and that he sets on people or puts on people. My only thing with Colby, and I was thinking about it today, is 2 things. It's the layoff. He's had a very long layoff, 18 months pretty much since March. And I was looking again at the people that he's beat, and I'm a massive Colby fan. But how many top tier guys has he beaten? Okay, he beat Masvidal. Okay, but Masvidal came off a KO loss to Usman. How many top tier guys has he beaten that weren't a little bit older? I didn't see that many.
Yeah.
So Gilbert Burns and people like that, and Masvidal on his run, those were all taken up by Usman. Pretty much. I think the last sort of top guy that Colby beat was like really top was Maia, but Maia was a little bit old.
Yeah.
And that only dawned on me today. I mean, it was like, he's been impressive, but has it been smoke and mirrors?
Yeah. And Tyron Woodley, when he beat him, he was like I hear what you're saying.
On his way out.
Yeah.
My ribs.
Yeah.
It was that one. Yeah, what are you thinking? What are you thinking for this one?
So Leon, I don't think he's as convincing as he might think he is. I think that all like his record shows. I think he's done some really impressive things, but also I think his records maybe also the same situation. I mean, his most impressive victories are over Kamaru, and then like you say with the first fight, he wasn't winning until the head kick. Whereas with Colby, when he fought him those 2 times,
They were close.
Yeah, they were
It
close.
was close. Like Usman outlasted him.
Yeah.
It was a battle of wills, but it was really close.
Yeah.
It's really, really close.
It's to me, I do think it is going to be that layoff. Yeah, as well.
Colby.
Yeah.
Colby's layoff. Yeah, I don't know why he had that layoff. I think it wouldn't have made sense for him to fight anybody other than wait for the title. I think he had the title shot short up.
Yeah.
So he waited for that. I think it's the layoff possibly as well, but I also just think, Edwards started out as a kickboxer. He's now become ultra well-rounded. Colby's key to victory is his work rate, but he doesn't want to stand that much with Leon.
Yeah.
Leon will piece him apart on the
Yeah,
feet.
because it's simple stuff, but he'll lay traps that after like that third, fourth round, he'll get you.
I mean, even if he just sits and counter strikes.
Yeah.
So he's got to try to take him down. But like, if you look at Usman, bigger, stronger than Colby, had some issues keeping Leon down. So I just find too many ways for Leon to win this. I think, man, I really like when this fight was announced. I was like, finally, Colby Covington's going to get his title shot. I like Colby Covington; he's super entertaining. I like his work rate. And I thought like, okay, now is his time. Usman's finally gone. Now is his time. But I think Edwards is going to win this fight. I think he wins it. I think he outlasts him, and I think he wins by decision.
That's fair. I also have Usman. Sorry. Yeah.
Edwards. Sorry, I just want to say, Colby will maybe win a round.
Yes.
Around maybe 2, like a debatable one, but I think like a 49, 46, 48, 47 type win.
Yeah.
For Edwards.
Yeah. I do think it's so why I have Edwards is I think it's his time now. I really do believe that you get better like the moment you get the title. And from that second fight with Usman, he has the capacity to get better. So I think that he takes it. I'm not sure how. Maybe like actually I wouldn't know how to say, but I think that he'll be able to get it done.
You gotta say.
I'm gonna say decision. Just because I think it's gonna be hard to take Colby down or put him out, especially with this layoff. I mean, yeah.
But also, I don't think Edwards is the type of person to really push a hunt for the finish.
Yeah.
I think he's a smart fighter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, decision. So we're both going decision. Edwards wins. Interestingly enough, your favorite, Mr. Bilal, is a backup. He's going to weigh in as a backup for this fight.
So it's really I hadn't even considered
backups.
Shatkov. I didn't even consider him like skipping Bilal, but that actually I do like that fight. I think that if Shatkov wins and Leon wins, it'll be hard to deny Shatkov the title fight. Shavkat. It'll be hard to deny him the title fight, but also Bilal. It's so hard.
Bilal's not entertaining enough. It's the problem,
Yes, but he's done everything right.
But you know what you're going to get with him. So you know he's going to be a tough fight. You know he's going to be, probably if he wins, it'll be by decision. So you know what to get with him. He's reliable. But him as a champion, I don't know, man. I don't know. Crowd booing him, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think it would be too boring to put on pay-per-view the whole time.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
No, that's fair. And we said it before, he's just like the wrong type of heel. Where it's
it's like go away heat.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you're right. So it's gonna be interesting to see. That's gonna be a great card. Let us know your thoughts, who's winning and the method. That'd be great. Maybe you guys can do the picks with us and see how many you get right. Tune in. No, not next week. This is going to be the last. This is the last week. So yeah, we hope you guys have enjoyed it this year. We'll see you back again next year. The podcast, the Hack Check podcast, will still go on. So there are episodes coming up over the December break. There's an episode with Jess Manamney, and there's an episode with Jason Brown, who's on the IMAF committee. Jess Manamney is going to do a bare knuckle boxing. Jason Brown also rolls with one arm, so that's quite interesting to see how fighting with one arm, it's actually quite a cool story. So tune in for those, and we will see you guys again next year for another episode of Chokes and Eye Pokes. Have a good festive season, everybody, and see you next year.